I think really just considering what the audience can benefit the most from. Sometimes people get really caught up in views, counts, how much attention you're getting. And a lot of times the narratives can be flipping too quickly. So by staying calm and being consistent with how your message is presented, if you are very into a specific sector, conveys the right message for the audience they can actually dive into that sector and learn from you. I think too many creators tend to follow the market waves to day, and it ends up being a mixed message for the audience. So what I really like to do is just to stay true to the core message, right? Look at the long term, find what you're doing best in crypto and stick to it and ride the waves for the long term. I think the West are super used to just having so much access to technology, computers, desktops, Wi-Fi everywhere. In APAC, in Asia, it's much more mobile. People might have cell phone everywhere, but they might not have computers. Sometimes they even are shared. So when building an experience, building access user layer for consumers, it's really important to consider that. So I think what APAC and Asia does best is really understanding how can you onboard everyday users. And I think that's all coming from mobile, all-in-one experience, pretty easy to get into without worrying too much about super powerful features upfront. People like to think it's boom and bust. There are still some players that are standing, but I think ultimately the few that are left are the ones with diehard community, the ones that never betray their community and kept building on their original promise, and the ones that actually drive some utility. I think ultimately utility comes from both collectability, but also the social aspect. Pudgy Penguins, really good example. Everyone knows about it nowadays. The fact that they didn't give up, it's really the big comeback story. And now it's penetrating everywhere. It's one brand that you can get behind, but what you actually do with the company, what you do with the brand image of the Pudgies, they can't just be cute. You have to have products with them. And if you're going to do a token, you do a airdrop, you have to really think in token sense as a typical crypto company, instead of just we do it as collectible and our users are not as important. So thinking about revenue first, thinking about real products behind your collectible brand is what really drove projects like Pudgy that's still kicking it today. Ultimately, what drives growth in crypto is community and how many token holders you have, how many people you have onboarded to your community. So in some sense, it's easier to onboard people when your project has a easy to understand ticker, easy to understand brand. You don't want to make it too complicated. So I think that's what meme coins have really shown us. However, too many people hide behind the facade of memes and just say, oh, it's purely a joke. That's obviously not the right message. You want to make your message very simple and easy to understand so people can refer their friends to it, and that acts as the fun and engaging way to get people in to your ecosystem. I think people are really underestimating Vietnam. Vietnam is I believe the 5th largest country by trading volume in crypto. This is comparing to the US, big trading economies like Korea. Vietnam is right up there. And I think one of the core policies that's starting to boom a bit is they're trying to bring all the exchanges and players together to make them more official and recognized in Vietnam so that they can be dealt with the Vietnam official fiat currency on-off ramps. This is one of the big things that drove the adoption in Korea. And we're starting to see rumors about this happening in Vietnam. Overall, Southeast Asia, everyone's very excited about getting their hands on crypto and getting into the rails. And yeah, the biggest regulation change, I think, is the tide is happening in Vietnam. I mean, tokenization is very clear to see the trend happening, led by Wall Street. In terms of Asia, you got to think about what's inaccessible to investors. So ultimately, the promise of tokenization is bringing things on chain, so anyone with a cell phone can access these, whatever it is, the vehicle. Investing in commercial real estate, investing in a venue, whatever it may be, that's otherwise requires too much infrastructure. I think even things like tokenized stocks, right? If you're talking about someone who doesn't have a terminal that they can trade on, or a full-fledged broker desktop to access, you can do that with your phone. With tokenized stocks, you can buy very small fractions of a stock just with your crypto wallet. I think influencers, with the right intentions, they can really bring in the first crowd of people to actually try your platform. So I think the types of projects that can benefit the most are those that need a bootstrap of users upfront. Most obvious would be decentralized exchanges that require a flywheel to start, where you have token holders, you have emissions that need to go to the early token holders and stakers, and that feeds into more liquidity providers and traders. So influencers can act as that fuel, that spark, to bring in the first wave of people who trust the influencers and know that they're going to get taken care of. So they come in, they become the first liquidity providers, the stakers. Then once the platform has deep enough liquidity, then the traders and other participants can come in. So I think that's one big area that usual founders are not able to access as easily, but influencer founders do have an advantage there. Either Thailand or Vietnam. I think those are two countries that really have a deep culture, and especially for us Westerners, people that are used to living in North America, we kind of all think of it as one area, one region. But people in Thailand and Vietnam, in terms of developers and investors, are very sophisticated. It's no longer just Singapore alone. Malaysia, obviously a huge area. Historically, a lot of strong companies have come out of Malaysia. So yeah, I would look into Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh City is beautiful. I think institutions' adoption is real this cycle, but it will be becoming a harder place for smaller projects to really break out into the big scene once we are past this cycle. So institutions are looking good, bring ETFs, bring in treasury company adoption. But once we're past this cycle, there may be too many hoops to jump through, where new projects are going to look more like the stock market and IPO instead of just creating tokens as ICOs. So for new founders, I think your window of opportunity is closing, and I would really take advantage of this wave happening in the next 12 to 18 months. Stay safe out there. I think we're all having a pretty good time. We're all feeling the euphoria in early stages of the excitement in the cycle. But just remember, the cycles always repeat. So ultimately, I'm a big believer of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, etc., the established players. So stay with those and pace yourself so you don't end up repeating the mistakes of last cycle.